When it comes to buying action figures, all you need is action figures. You don't need a silly gimmick to get you to buy action figures. But let's look at some silly gimmicks that come with action figures to try to get us to spend a little bit of money. Welcome back to the junk room, everybody. It's me, the Junkman, coming back at you, wearing long sleeves and a button-up shirt. Oh, Junkman looking fancy tonight. Well, it was cold out, and I just got home, and I didn't feel like changing shirts. So, deal with it. What are we going to talk about today? Well, we're going to look at gimmicks that come with toys. At first, I was going to do toy lines that came with a gimmick, kind of like I did a whole video of Star Wars, some gimmick toy stuff they came with. But these are more than just overall, because there's more than one line that came with most of these gimmicks. So I thought this would be a lot of fun. When it comes to action figures, most of us, 99.9% of us, we just want the action figure. Maybe a gun to go with it, or a lightsaber, or whatever. We don't want the gimmick that has nothing to do with the action figure. But toy companies are going to stick something in there to try to justify that high price, I guess. So let's look at 10 of them. And I got them right here. Got them right here. Don't you love when I do a top 10 list? I've done a lot of them lately. Woohoo! Let's go with number 10. And this is any action figure. This is mostly the 90s. Any action figure that came with a floppy disk, 3.5. Now, when I first think of floppy disk in an action figure line, I think of Independence Day. Yep, they came with a floppy disk. And this was late in the mid-90s. It was starting to get obsolete. Everything was kind of moving to CD at that time. But you had a floppy disk. And no kid or collector walked into Toys R Us and said, well, I don't know if I want that Independence Day figure, Jeff Goldblum. Wait, what? It comes with a 3.75 disc that I can put into my computer? It's not going to help me with any more toys. And if I remember correctly with this line, all the games were the same. So every time you bought a figure, you were stuck with that disc. It sucked. The graphics was horrible. It was just some game they threw up really quick. And I bet you 8 out of 10 times, people didn't even put the disc in the computer. Bet they didn't even play it. If they did, they booted it up one time and then that was it. So, action figures that came with a 3.5. I think I said 3.75 earlier, like an action figure. 3.5 floppy disk. I never seen a figure with the big floppy disk. Remember the big floppy ones you put your finger in the hole and spin it around? That's what I think about when I think floppy disk. But the only thing good about these figures, there are some good about them, is if you bought them a lot of them, you could reformat the floppy disk and use it as a get your free disc where you can save your JPEGs or GIFs on. GIFs. It's GIFs. It's not GAF or whatever you call it. It's GIF. Okay, here's another one. Number 9. That's right. And this is kind of in the same line. Action figures that came with a CD-ROM. That's right. You heard me. A CD-ROM. Step up from the floppy disk. And the one I think about is Star Trek. When they did this Star Trek Starfleet Academy line, it was dumb. It was like young Riker, young Worf, young Geordi LaForge when they were in high school or something. And it came with a CD-ROM game. I don't know anyone that ever booted up that game, played that game. I can't tell you anything about the game, but again, if you bought the whole line, you were stuck with a whole bunch of discs. You don't need floppy disks or CDs to come with your action figures. You just need an action figure stand. That's the one thing we only care about coming with an action figure, is an action figure stand. Where we at? Oh, number 8. Number 8. And this one I think only applies to Star Trek, but I'm really not sure. Maybe not sure. This is action figures that came with a POG. Remember the 90s? Oh my God, people in the 90s love POGs. Didn't they? I know, you can hear in the comment section, oh, technically, Junkman, that's a Pugette. If it's just one, it's a Pugette. Or something. I didn't play the game Pog. This was big for like 1 year in the 90s. Everything were Pogs. They did all kinds of Pogs. You know, you get Pogs with as if on it and stuff. But Star Trek, Playmates decided, hey, we're going to make, instead of trading cards, we're going to take out the trading cards and put a Pog inside. What were they thinking? No kid bought a Star Trek figure because it came with a Pog. I don't even like saying Pog. Hope I never have to say that word again. Pog. And here's another one that kind of relates to Star Trek again, but this was big in the 90s. So it's not, Star Wars Bindums and Toy Biz with the X-Men figures and some other figures, they did this. Action figures with a free trading card. What was it about 90s and the free trading card? They slapped free trading cards and everything. Loaf of bread, bendy figures, regular figures, die-cast figures had trading cards. Potato chips had trading cards. Magazines came with trading cards. In the 90s, they wanted to put a trading card into everything. You didn't have to do it with figures. Again, no one bought a figure because it had a trading card in it. Oh, and I can see the gimmick there, trying to get you to collect all of them, I guess. Some figures you don't want to buy just to get the card. That's stupid. Where are we at right now? Number 6. And this might apply for other figures, but the one I think of that applies for the most is He-Man. The new adventures of He-Man. You know, right there in the early 90s, they tried to reboot He-Man. That's where all the Mattel, the vintage eras died out, and for a couple of years, it was dead. And they said, let's bring He-Man back. They redesigned the figures, changed the He-Man, and brought him back. And to get kids back into He-Man, what did He-Man come with? A freaking cassette tape. A cassette tape. And this is the early 90s. Most kids were moving on to CDs by then. A cassette tape with some little adventure. Now, they used to see if it came with a book maybe, but no, it came with a damn cassette. And even some of the vintage figures were sold with cassettes. No kid wants a cassette tape with their action figure. I mean, you just don't want it. Again, the only good part is you could tape over the little holes on the bottom and then use it as a tape to record to make a mixtape or something on. Made a lot of Randy Travis mixtapes back in the late 80s. Okay, where are we at? Oh, whoa! Can you believe this? We're at number 5. Number 5. And the one that comes to my mind for this one is Toy Biz when they did the DC superhero line. And it's just Superman. And we're talking about a ring. Well, in this case, I'm going to say jewelry. Anytime an action figure came with jewelry that wasn't made to go on the figure is stupid. Now, Toy Biz did a Superman figure that came with a kryptonite ring. You might have thought it was cool, but I didn't. It was a stupid gimmick. It wasn't going to get me to buy more figures because Superman came with a... What's it called? A ring. What kind of ring? Damn, I need some alpha brain here. Kryptonite ring. I'm sorry about that. Kryptonite ring. Did that make you want to buy the figure? And this is the only figure. They all didn't come with jewelry. Now, I've seen other figures that come with some kind of jewelry. I think Kenner did the Shadow figure where you could send off for a free ring. I don't want jewelry with my action figures. The only time I'll save that joke for later. But action figures with jewelry, no thank you. I'm not a chick. Okay, where are we at now? Number 4. This was a lot of figures, too. A lot of figures did this, too. Action, mostly in the 80s. And He-Man did it every time. Action figures that came with a free comic book. Now, this one doesn't bother as much. This one, if I was putting these 10 in order, I would put this one at the top. Because at least this one kind of, if you're new to the line, let's say you bought He-Man, you weren't sure what it was, you got it as a gift, and come with a little comic, you can read a little bit, try to figure out who He-Man is, get you a little story. This one doesn't bother me as much, but a lot of people did in the 80s. Action figures with a free comic book. Hell, even Kenner did it in the 90s with the Aliens line. Again, doesn't really bother me. Doesn't bother me that bad at all. Where are we at? Number 3. Can you believe this one? You probably like, what? What? Now we've seen figures that come with a CD-ROM, a floppy disk. Seen them come with cassette tapes. Get this. Action figures that come with a VCR tape. Why did I say a VCR tape? Figures that come with a VHS tape. That's right, the big, bulky VHS tapes. Yeah, some figures came with a VHS tape. I guess, at least the comic book you can read. This one you have to take it out, put it in a DVD player, a VCR player. I can't talk tonight. I can never talk, can I? Put it in a VCR, and this time was probably mid-80s, maybe, where you only have one in your house in the living room. I want to play G.I. Joe and watch my G.I. Joe video. It wasn't going to happen. So it was just asking you to do 2 things at one time with one toy. Don't like it. Where are we at now? Number 2. Can you believe we're at number 2 already? And this one, you can tell me technically shouldn't be on the list, but I'm going to put it on the list anyway because this is something that doesn't come with something. It's a figure line that didn't come with anything. As far as I know, only Star Wars is in this, maybe some others. And that's Star Wars without DVDs. Let me explain. Now, Hasbro's released over the years box sets of figures related to the DVD release at the time. A DVD would come out that Tuesday, and the figures would hit the stores about the same time. And they would say DVD combo on the box. Well, not combo. DVD collection or DVD set pack or something. And it made you think, especially if you weren't paying attention, that it has a DVD in it. And they've done a few of these. And there were no DVDs in it. But they had DVD on the box. So I think they knew, say, let's put DVDs on the box, get rid of some figures we can't sell on single cards, put them in a box, put DVD on it, and maybe some foolish parent about it. Thinking there's a DVD in there, you just can't see it. Action figures without DVDs is a gimmick that has to go away. That's the worst one, probably. Well, I thought that was the worst one until I got to number 1. And this is more current days. This is on the rage today. This is what everybody's into nowadays. Action figures that come with body parts to another action figure. I hate this. I say I buy one figure. Like I bought this little guy right here. I bought this little guy right there. And now you know what else I got in a box somewhere that I'm never going to do anything with it? A big furry foot. Why do I want a big furry foot? Why do I have to pay $2 more for a figure so I can get a big furry foot? Now, if you're going to collect the whole line, that's probably cool and everything. But if people that just buy, nick and pick through the line, buy what they want from the line, they're left with body parts like the Hannibal Lecter or something. I hate this. I hate this gimmick. I hate it. It's stupid. Hey, toy company, if you got a figure you want to make the damn figure. Don't make us buy parts of it. If anything, sell the figure and the parts, and then we can decide if we want to buy the figure or we just want to buy the parts. What if the parts make one cool figure that you want? Now you're going to have to buy the whole damn set. But that's the damn plan, wasn't it? At least they came up with something better, because with trading cards, you weren't never going to buy all the figures just to get all the trading cards. Nobody cared. The DVD-ROMs and the CDs and the floppy disk were all the same games, so no one really cared about buying all those. Hey, toy company, I see what you did there. See what you did there. Pretty sneaky, sis. Whoa, that is it. Get out of here. That is it, guys. Sorry the video, the 8 o'clock video was a little late today, but we got it up. We got it done, guys. Let's have fun. Woo! Saturday night. Today's the 19th, the 20th. If you're watching this day, I uploaded it on the 20th. Rustman and Junkman back live, 8 o'clock Eastern time. Come to check that out. We're going to have a lot of fun, guys. We have a lot of fun. If you hadn't checked out the live channel, that Junkman Live, we put live clips from the live show up there and more. We're going to have so much fun. Your balls might fall off. Well, we'll talk with you later. Thanks for watching. Thumb up so you like my content. Subscribe to the channel and blah, blah, blah. We're out of here.
Hey, Junkman channel popping though.
Thank you, sir, for that unsolicited testimony.